Welcome to the Living in the Zone podcast with your host, Jim Fannin. This is your front row seat into the minds of champions. As a master mental performance coach, Jim will pull back the curtain on the hidden strategies that drive peak performance in sports, in business, and in life. If you're an athlete, coach, entrepreneur, or just someone who's ready to level up mentally and step into your greatness, you're in the right place. Welcome to Living in the Zone.
And now let's go to one of my favorite, it is my favorite segment. Who is in the zone and who's not in the zone? And of course, who's in the zone is someone that doesn't worry. They put worry down. Who's in the zone? You're a warrior. You know, the best in the world, they're already prepared. They've already won first when they walk into the arena. Everybody else walks into the arena and tries to figure out what to do. And as soon as something negative happens, they get back on the worry train, and that is cumbersome and heavy to lug around trying to beat a world-class athlete especially.
So would you say that if you go into a performance without it planned out, without having it done in your mind before that, you're probably going to worry throughout the performance because you're unprepared?
I think you will be anchored to the past, which will keep you out of locking into the moment. That's where the zone resides. You'll also go into the future going, oh boy, that could happen. They shoulda, coulda, woulda. And once you do that, if you're facing someone of even lesser ability, but they're locked into the moment, well, the player that's even better but is a worrier, they're going to bring a lot of unforced errors. They're going to have TRY, and that's a tattoo of a warrior. You see a warrior, they got this T period, R period, Y. It's a tattoo they wear to ruin yourself. So the warrior is ruining themselves. They're having an internal battle while they're trying to battle externally. How are you going to do that? It's not going to happen. I had a client who said, before she was a client, come watch me play. I want you to coach me. It's an LPGA. And so I went and watched her play 4 holes. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. So she came off. She goes, will you coach me? I said, well, you've already got a coach. I just go, what are you talking about? Well, somebody was coaching you on hole 16 and bitching and moaning at you, too. And if I talked to you like that and you were a client, you'd fire me the way you were bitching and moaning about yourself. Shoulda, coulda, negative. I said, you got to fire that person in you before I could possibly coach you. So Zoniacs, the people we're going to talk about that are in the zone, they put down the worry label. Yeah. They're not warriors. These are warriors. And now let's talk about who's in the zone. I got to go to the French Open. I've coached not 1, not 2, not 3 French Open champions. Adriana Panada, Sue Barker, Virginia Rizich. They were ballers a long time ago in the 1970s. Jimmy was younger. But anyway, and I've also coached someone to reach the finals. And this is the most grueling psychological, mental battle. The match in the men's final, 6 hours. Are you serious? 6, a crazy match. We got to go to Carlos Alcaraz, number 2 in the world, upsetting the number 1 player in the world, Jannik Sinner, down 4-6, down 6-7, down 2 sets on clay at the French. That's a hole most people can't. You'll need an earth mover to dig out of that hole.
3 championship points, and he didn't hesitate.
3 match points. He comes back and wins 7-6, 7-6 in the 4th and the 5th. Carlos Alcaraz, my goodness, you are locked in the zone. Crazy. What a performance. The other person in the French Open, Coco Gauff. We've talked about her on this show. Seeds of doubt, having struggles with her serve, her tosses off, inconsistent. Her forehand, she hits it behind her. It has tons of unforced errors, but not today on the clay at the French, when she's playing on the French. Again, playing the number 1 player in the world, Aryna Sabalenka. She's formidable. She's a baller. She's a champion. Coco gets down, loses first set. Tough tiebreaker, 7-5 in the breaker. And then Coco turns it around, 6-2, 6-4. How does she do that? Belief and expectancy. She wrote down her goals, which relaxed her. And she kept going over her goals in her mind. I can do this. She kept seeing a French Open champion. In some of our past telecasts, when you write your goal down, you're going to execute it, if you have the talent, 43% more than if you didn't write it down.
Yep.
She wrote it down and then every day visualized it, which helped her eliminate worry. So she put down worry, picked up the warrior. Who's in the zone? Coco Gauff. Carlos Alcaraz, you're in the zone. Who you got in the zone, Ryan?
So I've got Women's College World Series, both teams, Texas and Texas Tech.
We're
are
talking
in the
softball.
zone.
Yep,
Talking
softball here.
Softball, yes. So specifically, let's start with Texas.
You know, when you hear the word softball, you think soft. These girls are not soft.
I don't. This is a fast sport. If you've never been to a women's
fun.
college softball game,
It's fun.
it's fun, it's intense, it's quick because it's only 7 innings.
Yep.
I love that there is a little bit of difference in the sport for women. But let's go to Texas. They've been to the Women's College World Series 9 times, and they haven't won.
0-for-9.
Finally get their first title ever.
That's worrisome.
Which is,
That's
yes, that
crazy.
is very worrisome. Oh no, we've been here before and we
Here it
haven't
goes
done it.
again.
And went to game 3. Texas Tech being an excellent team all year. But Texas winning their first one, definitely in the zone. All their performers were locked in the moment. They're starting pitching, they're hitting, all timely, and they were the best team all year.
You know what's so
Yeah.
much fun about college sports, especially, is the excitement when they win. I mean, the whole team goes nuts.
Yes.
I love it. The enthusiasm, the fans. It's just so much fun. And I think, you know, we focus so much on the top 3 sports, you know, basketball, football, baseball, soccer, possibly. But man, there's competitors everywhere, warriors
Absolutely.
everywhere. Texas, you're in the zone. Kayla, who have you got in the zone?
I'm also sticking on the baseball diamond, going back to my alma mater, the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers in baseball. Punched the first ticket to the College World Series. This team is maybe the hottest team in baseball right now. They have the longest winning streak entering Omaha. 23 games in a row this team has won. And one thing that has put them in a zone state, they play with passion. You can tell this team just loves to play baseball.
They got swag, man.
They have
Yeah.
swag. They go out and take that field with a purpose. But it reminds me a lot of the 2016 team. We're going back in time now. My freshman year, won the College World Series, first time ever for Coastal. But this team kind of has that same enjoyment, that same passion, just a connected unit. And you can tell they just love the game of baseball. And they have that sense of belief now.
Where is Coastal Carolina?
Conway, South Carolina. So about 15 minutes in from Myrtle Beach.
That's the
is
Harvard
where
of the
we're at.
South? Is
And that is correct. That is the Harvard of the South,
And
Jim.
who created that? Everybody at Coastal?
Everybody in Coastal. That's our claim to fame.
I thought that
that's
was
our
a party
claim.
school.
I love that assessment by Caleb, though, that they are just having a blast on the field. They got some passion, but they have a little bit of, we got to prove that, like, we're not just a 2016 snub. Like, okay, we won it one time. We got to prove that we're the real deal. These guys have won over 50 games this year.
53-11, yes.
I mean, they might catch up to 60 if they win enough.
And find out about Are You in the Zone? And if you really want to find out how you stack up with zone performers, check out the description below. Don't forget to subscribe. Give Jimmy some love here. But also check it out because take the Score Challenge. It is unbelievable. Your mind is going to be blown away. Take the challenge. It's going to show if you think like the best golfer in the world,
Yep.
tennis player in the world. We got 24 assessments. Take a parenting assessment, and you could take a relationship assessment. Don't do it with your wife. Do it by yourself. Little FYI. But take these assessments. It's going to tell you exactly what you need, and then you got a conversation with Ryan, with Caleb, to find out and take a deeper dive on what do I need to do, and they're going to give you specifics that you can do based on your analysis.
Absolutely.
Find out if you're in the zone. And now, who's not in the zone? I'm going to take this right off the bat. Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz in the finals, one of the greatest matches of all time. It was amazing.
It was.
But to lose 3 match points, to be up 2 sets, and to be playing the best tennis of your life, that's going to haunt him all the way up through Wimbledon. Now, will it inspire him to get up from defeat one more time? I think it might. But he's still going to replay that night, those 3 match points, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I know he replayed it. I've lost match points. And you just go, I can't believe it. It's surreal. You're so locked in the moment for so many hours, and then to lose, it's like a bubble pop.
So what part of score did Sinner lose in those last moments with not just the championship points, but the last 3 matches after that?
Oh, I think he lost mental, psychic energy of confidence. He had a little seed of doubt, and that little seed of doubt puts a little stress. The optimism level in the score system, SCO, optimism, R, relax, they're next to each other. So that means he's a little tight, a little hesitant, not as decisive in what he's doing, and that's why he lost. Who else is not in the zone?
So I'm also sticking with the French Open. Going to the women's side, Aryna Sabalenka, who you mentioned earlier, Jim, lost to Coco Gauff in the women's finals. And after the press conference, after the match, Aryna has since walked back on some of these comments, but emotions completely clouded reason. Her breathing was elevated, and she blamed external factors.
The wind,
blamed the environment, blamed the conditions at Roland-Garros, and said that it wasn't necessarily that Coco played that great, it was how bad Sabalenka played herself. She had 70 unforced errors. And she made a comment, it wasn't that much of Coco. And she even mentioned as far as to say if Iga was still playing, she would have beat Coco in the finals. So almost casting the blame everywhere else but on herself and taking responsibility. Hey, I had 70 unforced errors today.
As the great John McEnroe told me personally, we were having a conversation about losing. He goes, excuses, that's losers. If you have an excuse, that's the epitome of a loser. And there are no excuses. The wind is either your friend or your enemy. And if you're complaining about the wind in tennis, you don't deserve to win. That's just part of it. The woman that has the most constants in a game of variables, the wind's a variable. That's why you change sides, so you adjust to the wind. There's a crosswind on this side. The wind goes the other way on the other side. Coco managed that better.
Yep.
And that's why she's the champion.
She's the champ.
Boo-hoo. It's windy. No excuses for anybody.
No.
I don't want to cut anybody any slack about that.
So for me, for who's not in the zone, we're going extremely unique here. We're not going to a pitch. We're not going to a field. We're not going to a stadium, perhaps. We're going to the chessboard. Magnus Carlsen.
I never saw this one coming.
Is not in the zone. This has gone viral, so we have to bring
this
up.
Magnus is not in the zone?
Magnus Carlsen, the top-ranked chess player in the world. He's never lost in the classical format. So for those who don't know chess, think long and complex games, right? Now he's playing against a 19-year-old who's promising, very promising, Indian man, Gukesh Damaraju. And he's playing him, and Magnus loses for the first time in his career in the classical format. And it's called the slam heard round the world, because he straight up slams the table and walks away. He can't believe it. And what's hilarious about it is his king falls when he slams the table. So there was some kind of symbolism in there. But when you react like that after losing, I understand that, like we said about Sabalenka, emotions can cloud your reasoning, and emotions definitely clouded his reaction. And never losing, and now you finally lose, and that's how you react. Unfortunately, that is a bit of a loser mentality.
Come on, Magnus.
I think he will step back and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take the spotlight away from my opponent.
His victory.
But when you react like that, that's low relaxation.
Well,
so you're getting anxiety.
In the video, the opponent was humble,
extremely
gracious,
yes,
almost in disbelief.
And if you actually watch, before Magnus takes the last move that made him lose, his hand is shaking. So there was some kind of anxiety, some
Well,
nervousness going on.
He
already knew it was
He already
over.
knew it was over.
Yeah.
He already
So,
knew that.
He had a lot of pent-up emotion going on, but Magnus, not just because you lost, because that happens. You lose in sports.
Yeah.
But your reaction caused you to not be in the zone.
And here's the thing about who's not in the zone. Success, it's getting up one more time from defeat. And you want to learn from your loss. Yeah. If you don't learn, you're a loser.
And
if
Magnus
if
has
you learn,
learned.
you never lose.
Magnus has learned. He's back to his winning ways now.
Well, he's also probably learned that the public can go against you when you act like that.
Yeah.
And I bet he got hammered. Well, we saw he did get hammered on social
media.
media.
Definitely.
he did.
With the big L over his head with the meme. But
Big
Magnus'
time.
success is getting up one more time. Get up. And now let's go to the Zone Cafe. This is a special place. Right now, I want you to mentally get into your car on your personal road of life. Thank you, Zoniacs, for watching the clip Who's in the Zone. And if you'd like to see the full podcast, go to Spotify or check it out in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe so we can send the show directly to you. Zoniacs, be in the zone. It's the only place to be.